Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing great. In this video, we will explore how to use the table service to calculate the duration of the fastest route between all pairs of coordinates. You can find the notebook used in this video linked in the description on my GitHub repository. As I said in the introduction, the table service allows us to compute the duration of the fastest route between all pairs of points. If I take as an example 3 points, by default, we can consider them both as sources and destinations. The duration is equal to 0 if the source is equal to the destination. This makes sense. If I start from point 1 and I want to go to point 1, then the duration should be 0. But we can force some points to be the source by using the sources options. Here is an example. If sources is equal to both the first and second points, the output should be a 2x3 matrix. Let me show you how this looks like. Now, instead of having a 3x3 matrix, we only have a 2x3 matrix because we used sources is equal to 0 and 1. So point 3 is no longer a source, it should be a destination. Alternatively, you can force some points to be the destinations by using the destinations option when making the request. If we take point 3 as the destination, this should output a 3x1 matrix. So by default, all those points will say as source, but point 3 will be the only destination because this is what we specified in this option. Now let's go to VS Code to see how to implement this. Here is the notebook that you can find on my GitHub repository. We will skip the setup section since it was covered in previous videos. To use the table service, refer to the endpoint format highlighted in this markdown cell. And as mentioned earlier, all OSRM services share general options, but each also has specific options. For the table service, we have seen that we can provide both sources and destinations as options when making the request. We will explore how to use them shortly. Don't worry about that. Let's start with the first case, where we don't specify any additional options. This means that all points can be either sources or destinations. First, we set some global variables. Service should be table, the version of the API is 1, profile is driving, and host should be localhost. Make sure to change this value if you used another profile when extracting the data. To make a request, make sure to provide the data or the coordinates as a semicolon separated string. Since we covered this in the route service video, I won't go into details. Let me make the request. You should see a status code of 200. This means that the request was made successfully. After extracting the data with the JSON method, you will notice new items in the data object. We have destinations, durations, and sources. As I said in the slides, if sources and destinations are not specified, the table service returns durations for all possible combinations. In our case, we have 3 points. This will give you automatically a 3x3 matrix representing 9 combinations. If you are using 5 points, you should get a 5x5 matrix at the end. So if we try to extract the durations, this will give us a 2x3 matrix, as you can see in this table. Rows represent source points and columns represent destination points. The value in each cell shows the travel duration between the corresponding source and destination. When the source and destination are the same, the duration is 0. Now let's move to the second case. Here we fixed the sources to the first point by setting sources equal 0. Everything else remains the same. When making the request, you'll notice that the output this time changed. Instead of getting a 3x3 matrix, we have a 1x3 matrix. That's because we forced OSRM to take just the first point as the source. Similarly, we can force the destinations instead of the sources. Here we are considering that the first point is the destination. Now we should get the transpose of what we got before. Instead of getting a 1 by 3 matrix, we should get a 3 by 1 matrix. 3 represents that resources, while 1 represents one destination. Finally, we can combine both options like this. In this example, we set the first point as the source and the last point as the destination. After making the request, the result is a single value. That's all for this video. I hope you found it helpful. In the next video, we will explore the match service. See you there.